Hi friends, welcome to your mat. My name is Val and today we'll be going through a handful of seated postures that will be really nice to open up through the back body. So if you experience any tightness in the hamstrings, low back, hips, or even up into the middle back, these poses will be really nice to practice to find a little bit more space and ease in those areas. And if you are someone who enjoys building and strengthening your mind-body connection, then be sure to give my channel a like and subscribe as we journey towards the light within through yoga, mindfulness, and meditation. We'll need a few props for today's class. One being a blanket. So if you have a Mexican blanket, you can have that. Otherwise, just a blanket from your couch that's not too thick and fold it up nice and evenly. And two blocks. So if you don't have blocks, just find something of equal height that you can use to bring in some balance into the poses. A stack of books works really well. And it's not necessary, but if you have a bolster, you might want to have a bolster nearby just to bring a little bit more of a restorative take into some of the poses, but again, not necessary. So bring yourself onto the mat and let's get started. So find yourself in a easy seated position, otherwise known as Sukhasana. We'll all begin with the right leg crossed in front of the left. And as we find our seated position, this is where the blanket might come in handy. So if you're someone who has a tendency to have tightness in the hips or low back, then just slide the blanket underneath your seat, giving a little bit of elevation to the hips. You can also choose to sit on a block if you need extra height. However, sometimes the block might be a little jarring to the bum. So either one works. And as you find this seated position, be sure that you're not crossing your right ankle underneath the leg and causing a lot of pressure into that joint, but rather have the legs be more parallel. So having them be one in front of the other. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and sit up nice and tall. Think of forming a lengthened line from the crown of the head upwards, and then all the way down through the sits bones. Notice this rise in the upper body and this rooting in the lower body. You might begin to close the eyes shut or just soften your gaze towards the ground in front of you. Let your hands rest gently on your lap. Just start to notice the breath. Allow the breath to enter and exit through the tips of the nose. Being aware of how the breath has arrived with you on the mat today. Doing your best to not judge it, but slowly shift it into more balance. As you breathe in, feel like you can lengthen even taller through the spine. And as you breathe out, feel the shoulders and the body relax and root further towards the ground. We'll slowly journey towards a soft Ujjayi breath for today's class. So breathing in and out through the tips of the nose with a soft restriction in the back of the throat. And creating a gentle sound through the lips being sealed shut. So creating that sound in the back of the throat to bring a sense of internal focus, calm, and ease to the mind while warming within softly. So allow your Ujjayi pranayama to start to join into the practice. The hands come to connect in front of the heart space. Just taking a moment in Anjali Mudra to set intention for our practice today. And together we'll be working through seated postures that will bring in more spaciousness to the back body. So perhaps your intention is spaciousness. You can always veer off of that intention and create your own unique intention. But let it just be a simple word or phrase for what you'd like to harness from today's class. Allow the palms to press together, seal the intention within. And gently blink the eyes open. We'll begin to move into our first pose. From Sukhasana, we'll be coming into a fold. This is where you might want to have a block or two handy so you can have them by your side. Starting with the right leg forward, take a full breath in, roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and start to float the arms high. Reach up through the fingers. And then as you exhale, hinge from the hips, lead with the heart, let the hands come down towards the ground. I'm just going to turn to the side. I don't know if the ground feels really far. You can always take the blocks and bring them underneath your hands. Any level works really well. So letting the fingers come to the mat or to the blocks out in front of you. From here, slightly tuck your tail. So feel the low belly kind of draw in as you root down through your seats. On the inhales, lengthen the spine, lift up through the heart, broaden across the chest. And then as you exhale, perhaps the fingers can walk a little bit more forward. Option here is to invite the palms or the forearms down to the ground or to blocks. Begin to round in the chin towards the chest. Think of rooting down through your seats and starting to saturate the back body with your breath. On your next inhale, lift up through the heart space, lengthen the spine. Then as you exhale, walk your hands over towards the left, keeping that nice tall spine. You can stay with your fingertips on the ground until you found enough of a stretch on the right side of your body. Try to keep your shoulders leveled. So you don't want the right shoulder super higher than the left, but you want to keep them nice and on the same line of energy. So what you're doing here is pressing into the fingers to root the opposite hip, so the right hip down towards the ground, and breathing into the back body on the right side. And stay lifted in the chest for one more breath. Then as you exhale, walk your hands back through center. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, walk your hands over towards the right. Keeping that left hip drawing down and the shoulders level. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, come back through center. From here, walk your hands back towards your body. Find a tall spine and take a full breath in through the nose. A full breath out through the nose. The hands come to the outer edges of the knees. Draw your legs in towards each other and extend the legs long. We'll be coming into Dandasana, staff pose, as you let your hands rest down by your side. If the blanket is there, you can let the hands press into the blanket. If it's not, just press the hands down into the floor. Think of straightening through the arms, lifting up through the spine, lengthening through the crown, and start to draw the toes back towards the face. As you draw the toes back towards the face, all of the muscles in the legs start to engage. So think of them rooting down towards the ground, the knees drawing into the quadriceps, starting to engage the thighs. As you lift through the heart, draw your shoulder blades towards the spine, broadening across your chest. We'll be here for a full breath in and a full breath out. Good. We'll switch sides, bringing that left leg to cross in front in Sukhasana on the opposite leg. Sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Take a big breath in as you rise your arms up. As you exhale, hinge from the hips. Reach the hands down in front of you. Root through the fingers. Root through your seat. Inhale, lengthen through the heart. As you exhale, perhaps walk the hands a bit further. Keep that lift in the chest for one more inhalation. And on the next exhalation, you can begin to round through the spine, softening the chin in towards the heart. Inhale, lift through the heart. As you exhale, walk your hands over towards the right. Once you've found your edge, plant the fingers there. Keep the shoulders level. And breathe into the side body. Do your best to allow the breath to remain full. Even if there feels like some compression is on the right side of the body, can you sip in the breath a little slower? Can you find more ease as you release any tension on the exhalations? And take one more full breath in, lift through the heart. And on your exhale, journey through center. Inhale, find length. Exhale, switch your journey towards the left. Take full breath in and a full breath out. 2 more just like that. We'll make our way back through center. Or we'll walk the hands towards the body and let the palms rest on the lap. A full breath in. The full breath out. Hands come to the outer edges of the knees. The legs extend out long in front of you. Dandasana. Pull any extra flesh out from underneath your seat to really feel the sits bones root down. Palms press into the ground alongside of you. Widen across the chest. Reach up through the heart. Start to draw the toes back towards the body, engaging all of the muscles in the legs. You'll start to feel some core activation here. Be sure not to hold the breath, but let it remain fluid and steady. On your next inhale, float the arms high. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, lead with the heart into your Paschimottanasana or intense Western stretch, otherwise known as a forward fold. Good. Palms come down alongside of you. And you start to invite the chin to soften in, finding this spaciousness along the back body. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you have a bolster by your side and want to make this pose a bit more restorative, you can take the bolster and bring it to the tops of the legs. You can let your hands just rest on the bolster and just soften the chin into the chest so it won't be as deep of a fold. You can also relax the toes here, relaxing the legs. And the further the chin softens into the chest, the deeper the stretch you'll have in the back of the neck. If it feels like the head is holding on to a lot of tension, another variation that I love to explore is to just bring my elbows to the bolster and let the palms support the forehead. So you have a little kickstand for the head to rest into. If you don't have that space, you can always build here. So if you need to add a block or even two, you can do so. We'll take 5 breaths and whatever variation worked best for you. So if you want more restoration in this pose, a block or a bolster, if you want to feel a little bit more active and a deeper stretch, then try to eliminate those props and bring yourself into a bit of a deeper fold. You can always take a yogi toe lock, your 2 peace fingers, wrap around the front big toe, and that'll help pull you in a little deeper. The elbows can bend. And just be sure you're not forcing yourself into the depth, rather working with the breath and letting the breath lead you into the movements. And so if the breath starts to get short, shallow, and choppy, perhaps it's a message from the body saying that you've gone too deep too quick. Let it be fluid and easeful. And 2 more breaths. And we'll slowly release. Begin to walk your hands back towards your hips, coming to Dandasana once again. Palms pressed down alongside the hips, fingers face forward, shoulders widen, toes draw towards the body, and the crown of the head extends up to the sky. Full breath in, and a full breath out. Good. From here, Baddha Konasana will be our next pose, bringing the soles of the feet towards each other. Now you can stay on your blanket this entire time. I personally am choosing to just for that added height, but you could also remove it anytime you'd like as well. Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet come to touch. If you are on the blanket, just come towards the edge of the blanket. If you have your knees look like this and you're really tight in the hips, blocks are beautiful props that can hold that up just to help you feel more supported. Any level works. So give yourself the space to explore that. But otherwise, let your feet come to kiss. The knees open out like pages in a book. And your hands can come down towards your legs, whether they rest on the shins or the ankles. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Find a tall spine. We'll be here for 2 breaths. Inhale, lengthen up a bit more. And then as you exhale, start to lead with the heart, hinging from the hips and walking the hands further down the feet. They might come to pinky edges of the feet, wrap around the toes. And then you can use your elbows to press the knees to open out wider. Think of on your inhalations growing tall, finding length and space in between each vertebrae. And then as you exhale, you can fold a bit deeper. Allow the breath to journey all the way down into the hips and the low back. And the exhalations offer this opportunity to let any tension roll off the back of the neck as the head gets heavier. Almost like our worries are spilling away as we make more space within our bodies, within our minds. One more full breath in and a full breath out. And slowly start to rise the heart, lifting through the spine, walking the hands up the legs until we let the head stack over the shoulders stack over the hips. Palms come to the outer edges of the knees to help the legs in towards each other. Let your hands rest behind you. You can come onto your fingertips, open across the heart, and widen your feet as wide as your yoga mat. From here, take a big breath in. As you exhale, drop the knees over towards one side, coming into windshield wipering the legs. The inhale will bring the knees through center. The exhale will drop them over to the other side. So really ride the whole length of the breath. The inhales come through center. The exhales, opposite side. If you want to get a little bit more exaggerative, you can let the shoulders open up towards the opposite side of the knees. Good. Take a few more rounds. And we'll come back through center. Let the blocks come to both sides. You can come off of that blanket if you've had it underneath you, and we'll find our way onto our back body. As you come down, hug the knees into the chest. Just finding a nice long spine as you tuck the shoulders underneath the chest and find length in the tail. Swaying side to side to lengthen through the low back. And a slight tuck of the chin to find space in the cervical spine. And keep the right leg hugging in towards the chest. Drop the left foot down to the ground. Hands come behind the back of your right knee. As you inhale, extend that right foot up towards the sky. Flex through the foot. On the inhale, find length from your right hip all the way out through your heel. And then as you exhale, keeping the foot flexed, cross right ankle over left thigh. Draw the right knee away from your body as you enter into figure 4 or reclined pigeon pose. Let the shoulders relax. So do your best to not let the shoulders lift away from the ground. And breathe here for 5 breaths. Allow the hands to come out into a T, palms face down. Keeping that top foot flexed, take a full breath in. And as you exhale, start to drop that top foot towards the left side. Now you might have that block off to the left side. If you do, you can place your foot on top of the block. Find more support. Then the left hand can come to the top of your right ankle. Right shoulder stays glued to the ground. And the right hip is trying to draw down towards the earth rather than pull away from it. So you'll get that big stretch in the back body on the right side. Now, if you don't have the block, the foot does not have to touch the ground. It's just working into that direction. To complete the twist, you might offer the gaze over towards the right. And then we'll slowly come back through center. Hug the right knee into the chest. And then release the right foot down to the ground. We'll switch sides. Left knee hugs in. Your next inhale, left foot extends to the sky, hands come behind the back of the thigh or the knee. Spread through the feet. Feel the back body nice and grounded, opening up into the back of the leg. As you exhale, cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Keep that foot flexed as you create space in the left hip by drawing that knee away from your body, either physically by pressing it or energetically by thinking of the knee drawing towards the front of the room. Shoulders are relaxed. Check in with your neck. Is your chin really lifted? If so, can you slightly lift the head and tuck the chin back towards the heart space? A few more breaths. Doing your best to not judge one side in comparison to the other, but just notice and observe if you need to invite more breath into this side. Arms come out into a T, palms press down. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, start to drop that top foot over towards the right. The block can come underneath the foot. And your right hand can grab a hold of the ankle, just as added assist to help draw it down. Now the left hip, think of it energetically reaching towards the earth to feel that nice stretch in the low back. And you can gaze over towards the left, bringing some rotation into the neck. And we'll work our way back through center. Hug both knees into the chest once more. Then extend both feet up towards the sky. And flex through the feet. Press the hands down by your side. And take a full breath in. Then as you exhale, engage the low belly towards the spine. Lower the heels down with control. Just ending with a little bit more of core activation. For an added challenge, stop halfway. Continue to press that belly button down towards the ground, feeling the low back continue to gain length and strength. Easily releasing those heels towards the earth, and then when they touch, take a full body stretch. Reach the arms back behind, point the toes to the front of the room. Let the hands come down by your side as the feet flop open, working our way to our final resting pose of Shavasana or corpse pose. And get out any last minute wiggles or fidgets. And today's Shavasana will be brief, but if you are interested in an extended Shavasana and have extra time on the mat, then feel free to end this video and watch my extended Shavasana video that will be linked in the description below. Otherwise, decide if you want to let your hands be palm face up or down. Palms face up brings in a little bit more receptivity. Palms press down brings in a further sense of groundedness. And take a big breath in, the biggest breath you've taken all class. And hold it at the top. Try to sip in a tiny bit more air. Hold it. A tiny bit more air. Hold it. And then open the mouth, sigh it out, release. Let it out, let it out, let it out, let it out. Beautiful. Then find your natural breath. Let this ease take over the body. If you haven't done so already, invite the eyes to close shut. Letting any thoughts be put aside for the time being. taking a moment to allow the practice to just seep into the body, into the mind, into the spirit. Let the toes and the fingers soften, the legs and the arms feel heavy. Let all of the muscles in the face find ease. Be with the natural pace of your breath for the next few moments. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Invite in fuller inhalations as you let out longer exhalations. Starting to wiggle through the fingers and the toes, rolling through wrists and ankles. You can allow the back of the head to rock side to side, gently waking up into the neck. Bend the elbows, extend the arms back behind, and point through the toes for your full body stretch. Hug the knees into the chest. Give them one last big hug in. Take a gentle rock side to side, giving that low back just an extra bit of love by massaging it into the mat. And then journey into a fetal position on either side. Use the bottom arm to support the head like a supportive pillow. Just take a moment in gratitude for showing up for yourself today, for finding extra space in the body, and allowing the mind a moment away from the noise of the world and into the voice of the heart. Use the strength of your hands to press yourself up to an easy seated position, trying your best to keep the eyes closed. Just as we began in Sukhasana, we will end in Sukhasana with the opposite leg crossed in front. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Feel the space in the back body. Allow the hands to connect in front of the heart. A gentle bow of the head to the heart to acknowledge the light within, to honor and respect the light within. For the light within me honors, recognizes, and respects the light within you. It is within this light in which we are connected, uniting as one, journeying home. Thumbs to your third eye, forehead center, to honor our highest, truest, most authentic self within ourselves and within each other. As we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. If this video was enjoyable to you, feel free to leave what you enjoyed about it in the comments below. And if you are someone who enjoys building and strengthening your mind-body connection, then be sure to give my channel a like and subscribe as we journey towards the light within through yoga, mindfulness, and meditation. I will see you next time on the mat. Thank you. Namaste.